Hey guys, Andy here from EverTrek. So how do you limit the effects of high altitude sickness, or altitude sickness? There's a few things that you can do to help you adjust to altitude. Um, Biggest one, a massive one, is pace. So when you're on a trek to Everest Base Camp, you want to have the mindset that you need to slow down as much as you can. Or ideally, you need to be at a pace where you can actually hold a conversation with someone else and not be out of breath. You as you get higher, it does get difficult, and there's times where you have to walk up some relatively steep paths, especially up to Namche or Tengboche, or when you get in on some of the acclimatization hikes we do, just to test yourselves, where we actually hit a certain height and then hike back down where we sleep. But generally, you want to be able to hold a conversation, whoever you're with, your guide, your trekking partner, whoever you're with, then you're going at a steady pace. And our guides will manage that for you, and will check, and if you are going too quick, they will sort of say, look, slow down. But it's up to you to sort of control that and think, right, I'm going too fast here, slow down. Sometimes you will notice if you're going up too fast. Secondly, is hydration. It's the biggest thing. If you're struggling with high altitude, it's probably because you haven't had enough water. Especially, you want to be aiming for at least 4 liters a day. It seems like a lot, especially if you're not a big drinker of water on a daily basis, but it seriously helps you. The more hydrated you are, the better your body will adjust. Guarantee it. You can be unlucky, obviously. Anything can happen. Anyone could get altitude sickness. But there's these sort of things. Pace and water are two big factors. You want to be looking after your body as well. So we don't recommend you drinking alcohol on the way up to Everest Base Camp. On the way down, go for it. You've done Everest Base Camp. You can have a celebration. It's always a good time to celebrate. We normally save it for when we're actually back at Lukla or back in Kathmandu, but it's up to yourself. But yeah, so looking after your body. Some people take like vitamin tablets. Also, as well, we do find that if you're taking like an aspirin, it does help with adjustment with altitude because it thins your blood a bit. It takes that little pressure off, because your blood does thicken at high altitude, because you're dealing with a sort of oxygen deprived environment. Your body's trying to adjust, and that's one of the things it does, is it thickens your blood. It produces more red blood cells, so your blood gets thicker. You'd be surprised if you cut yourself, accidentally, or scratch yourself, you won't actually bleed that much. But if you do take aspirin, it kind of levels that out a little bit. One a day, something like that. That does help people. So there's a couple of hints there that how to help it. Again, pace, plenty of water, looking after yourself, and just having a damn good time as well. Some people are just thinking, altitude sickness, altitude sickness, altitude sickness. And if you go ahead and you're thinking like that when you're out there, and you worry about every single little thing, then that does have an effect. You've got to try and stay in that positive mindset of enjoying where you are, and forget the odd headache. If it does become serious, then our guides are well trained to notice that. One of the first things that will happen is you'll lose your appetite. You won't want to eat. So that'll be the first trigger. Lack of sleep, feeling actually physically sick as well, is another sign of altitude sickness. There's different levels of it. You can have extreme headaches that potentially can affect your vision. You can be slurring your words. We will manage you so that you won't get to that stage, but it's always worth being mindful of how to look out for altitude sickness. Okay, so those are the things that I recommend, that if you do, you'll limit the effects of altitude sickness. Hope that helps.